Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're gonna get back into more Q&As with Amber. We're now at part 18, and yes, I know the Q&As have been over and done with for ages now, but I feel like it's important just to kind of get the rest of them out there, and then once that's done, it's done. Plus, honestly, more content for you guys to watch. Whether you like it or not, it's really up to you guys to decide. Just let me know if you really care about the Q&As. If I could try releasing 7 videos a week, like, that would be really awesome. But I feel like you can do about 3, maybe 4 a week, depending. A Q&A every now and then isn't too bad. But hopefully we'll just get straight into the video and you guys won't mind too much. On to the first one we have. Biggest casino win, to which Amber says, like $800, which I don't agree with Amber going to the casino because, I mean, let's face it, Amber's easily addicted to anything. Food, girlfriends, shopping, hoarding, drinking. So why would you want to add gambling to the mix? Oh, by the way, I just want to mention too, I completely forgot to say it in the intro, it is currently hammering down right now. We've had rain for the past 3 to 4 weeks. It's going on to the 4th week now, but Banjo is currently in the room because I'm not leaving him outside in the rain like that. So he's currently just chewing on his bone right now, so he's just having a little bit of fun. So if you hear any gnawing noises, that's just him in the background playing with a toy. On to question 2 we have, advice on keeping your apartment clean, to which Amber says, cleaning rounds every day, even just a couple. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I understand that it would probably be harder for Amber and Foodie to really keep their apartment clean. I mean, let's face it, they can't even keep themselves clean, let alone keep an apartment clean. So, completely understandable, it would have to take rounds every single day. But for me personally, when it comes to cleaning, a lot of the time, I don't really make much mess. So, I only really clean on the weekends. Like, I say clean, like, I will vacuum clean and, like, sweep every single day because of Banjo's fur, but the majority of the stuff I will dust on, like, Sunday. I'll do laundry on Sunday, grocery shopping on Sunday, basically everything done on Sunday. So, like, I don't really have to worry about much mess because it's just me and the dog. Hopefully, one day, maybe 2 or 3, if I ever get my own place, I would like to. Honestly, I hope that I never get my own place. I know they're going to rant. I hope I never get my own place, because if I do, that place is going to be turned into a literal zoo by the end of maybe a month. Enough about me, back to Amber, shall we? My cleaning rounds always consist of something different so I don't get bored. Yes, because everything has to be a game to this woman. Amber, I thought you said you liked cleaning. It was therapeutic and it got your mind off of the haters. Well, I don't know why you need to change it up all the time. I think I know the reason why. I've explained briefly in passing what cleaning rounds are to me, but maybe in the future video I can get into more detail, because I really do feel like it could help people out there who have a hard time with motivation or staying focused. I really think Amber is still trying to go for that adult ADHD diagnosis, and I would not be surprised if Emily also has it. And I'm going to speculate here. I'm not going to say this is the truth or anything. I'm just going to speculate and say that I don't believe Amber has been diagnosed for BPD. She says that she went to a psychologist who did diagnose her, but I mean, Amber lies, so how do we know if that's the truth? And Amber has gone on the record for saying that she has ADHD, even though she has not been to a psychologist or a therapist. Self-admits that she has not gone back since moving to Oklahoma. So she couldn't have been diagnosed with ADHD, but she said that she had ADHD. So she literally just gave herself the label of ADHD without being diagnosed with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens eventually with BPD, if it comes out that she never got diagnosed with it. On to question 3 we have, what's the longest period of time you've been single, and when was it? To which Amber says, the end of last year. It was from July 23rd to February 24th. I say 24th and 23rd, I mean 23 and 24, apologies. I did flirt and whatnot, but no official relationship for the 7.5 months. I mean, that's not really a long time. I understand this from the perspective of someone who doesn't really want to date, because I've done it before, and honestly, dating is just too much effort at this point. Like, dealing with a lot of people, especially people my age, it's just, you have so many people who aren't mentally and emotionally mature, and you would think at the age of 29 to 30, a lot of people would have their shit together, but they still are emotional wrecks. And I have no problem with dealing with other people's emotions, because I have my own emotions. I completely understand how it works, but I'm not going to have screaming matches with people because they don't know how to check their own emotions when we're having an argument. I'm not going to be dealing with other people's depression when they refuse to actually try to help themselves, and when you try to help them, they take it out on you. I have dealt with those relationships before, and they are soul draining. They are just so goddamn soul draining. I have not been in a relationship for years, specifically because I've dealt with that type of situations in the past, and I just don't want to do it anymore. And I'm not perfect either. I can understand that I'm definitely not someone who is free from criticism. Like, I am someone who will dissociate from a high stress situation, so I will become almost emotionless. And so when I remove myself, all my emotions from the situation, it also causes the person who is my partner is going to become more overwhelmed because they're trying to get me to empathize, and I can't empathize at that very moment. So I am also causing a problem. If I want to remove myself from the situation and those people don't have the ability to, not really the ability, they don't work with sitting in their discomfort or sitting with their emotions, I'm causing them more distress by removing myself from the situation. So, like, I understand that it can't always be my way, and it can't always be their way. We have to work as a team, and we have to communicate. I still have to work on it sometimes, not the best all the time, but it's something I am working on. Question 4, do you have the order receipt for pen? Oh my god, seriously? Are people really asking about this still? Alright, do you have the order receipt for Panera sending you the wrong order? I believe you, by the way. I don't... Like, dude, it was an order from 3 or 4 years ago. Who cares at this point? The only people that care are Amber and hardcore fans who believe every single thing she says. Like, it doesn't matter. Amber, is this you asking yourself this question? Are you really asking this stupid, pointless question to yourself? Question 5, we have, how many people on IG do you think you blocked so far? To which Amber said, this many, which is close to 4,000. And Amber says, and that's after having Instagram for 9 years. Which is completely understandable, honestly, at this point. When you deal with so much criticism, you're probably just going to go on, like, blocking sprees, which I don't necessarily care. If I get hate, which is very minimal, I do get some criticism on, like, YouTube or Instagram. It just doesn't bother me, because it's like, people are going to have their opinion in the way that I'm allowed to have my opinion. If you don't think my content is good, that's perfectly fine. If you think I'm too harsh, that's perfectly fine. If you want to call me a certain thing or say that I look ugly or unattractive or you would never date me, which, no offense, like, I completely understand if you don't want to date me, but the fact that you think that you could catch me, which is just, that's hilarious, because, no offense, a lot of the people that criticize me either have furry pictures, which I ain't going there, or 2, aren't really in a place to criticize other people's looks because they themselves aren't exactly supermodels. On to question 6, we have, do you ever drink caffeine? To which Amber says, I do now, yes. Diet Dr. Pepper is my go-to lately. Doesn't Amber go to Starbucks and get, even though they are like frappes or milkshakes, she does get coffee, which does have caffeine in it. Like, yes, it's not technically like a coffee, it's a frappe or a milkshake, but it does actually have caffeine in it. So, I don't know why she says yes now. Moving on to question 7, we have, what hobby have you always wanted to try and get into? To which Amber says, knitting or crocheting, but I genuinely can't figure it out. It does require muscle memory, and I think with Amber's hands, her fingers probably wouldn't be good with crocheting or knitting. Like, I've been told I have magician hands, and it sounds kind of weird, but magicians usually like having large palms and long, slender fingers because it makes, like, the sleight of hand and tricks and stuff like that much easier when you have long, slender fingers. I would assume it would be similar to how, if you're knitting or crocheting, if you have, like, sausage fingers, it would probably be much harder to kind of do knitting or crocheting. At least that's what I would assume anyway. I would have to ask a couple of friends of mine who are knitters and crocheters if that is true, but I've been told that I have magician hands. Magic fingers. I'm sorry, I'll take myself out. I tried a couple of years ago, and for some reason, it just wouldn't click. I kind of want to try it again sometime. I love to make a blanket of my own. Yeah, most people would tell you not to make a blanket, especially like a patchwork blanket, because it takes forever. Some people says, like, they can do it in a couple months, but those people usually don't have lives, which just sounds bad. But when you have friends who only do that all day, every day, even they will say, like, it'll take them months to kind of finish a blanket, if not years. On to question 8, we have, are you now banned from YouTube? They've taken so many of your videos down, I miss watching you. To which Amber says, they've taken 2 videos down, that's it. And no, I'm not banned at all. Well, yes, they had taken 2 videos down at that particular time, but they have also taken down multiple other videos and live streams of yours. One in particular I do remember is the one where you're raising money for Beck's mum's cancer treatment, which she never ended up giving her in the first place, which is so messed up. The fact that you actually stole money from a cancer patient is the worst thing imaginable. And I say steal because the money was never intended to go to Amber in the first place. She kept it, as well as all the money that Beck... Essentially, Beck was owed for working for Amber, because she did say that she employed Beck as an employee. So Beck was supposed to get money, and Beck's mum was also supposed to get money for the cancer treatment. So like, Amber, you're a massive POS, if you ask me. Question 9, we have, do you still read your Insta messages, or is it too hard because of all the hate? Well, that's a stupid question, because that's how she finds all the girlies. How is she going to be able to hook up with her next girlfriend if she's not reading the messages? I don't really get hate in my DMs. It's super sweet stuff, yeah, because you're usually love bombing ya. Most of the blocking I've done is from comments, LMAO, but I read some of my messages. I just get so many, it's hard to keep up. Hard to keep up with all the girlies trying to get in your cave of wonders. On to question 10, we have, why wasn't your hysterectomy done laparoscopically? I do apologize for that. I have no idea how that's pronounced. That's how they usually do it because of my size, which is very true. I've been in situations where I've had to go with friends and family members to like doctor's appointments or like surgical teams and stuff like that, because they didn't want to go alone. And they will straight up, they have no empathy when they say stuff like, "Oh, you're overweight. We're not even gonna bother doing keyhole surgery. We're just gonna cut you open." And it's like, Jesus Christ, can you have a little bit more empathy and at least try to say it in a way that doesn't sound like you're a butcher cutting up a pig or something? On to question 11, we have you ever looked at wedding dresses? What style would you want? To which Em says, my favorite kind of wedding dress isn't suitable for my body type, so sadly, I wouldn't have my dream wedding dress. Well, if you actively try to apply yourself in a diet and stuck with a diet, because Amber says she doesn't have an ED. She doesn't be like all the people that have that ED. She simply overeats, and if she was willing to apply herself, she could easily just stop. She's not like Foodie, who has an ED, who tries to work through her issues, but then fails. She's not like myself, who applied the necessary mental work in order to overcome your ED. She simply just overeats for the fun of it, because that's how Amber is. But, you know, she can stop at any time. She doesn't want to do it, but she can if she wanted to. But she's also not dating a feeder. But I definitely find the next best thing if I ever have a wedding. Well, I don't want to be rude, Amber, but your time right now is pretty short. And by the looks of the current videos, you're eating a lot more than you probably should be, because you're now gaining more weight and you can actively see it in your face. So if I was you, I would probably ditch the feeder and go back on a Ozempic. On to question 12. Not a question. Alright, we're back to 11 questions then. But please do the cleaning round video. I'm big and it's hard for me. Help. To which Amber says, that would definitely help you then. I love to make a video about it. Months later, she has done absolutely nothing. Also, I wouldn't take cleaning advice from someone who has self-admitted that you do not wash your blankets more than once a week. You will wash your blankets once a month. And this stench alone would probably allow those sheets to stand stiff, so I would not take cleaning advice from Amber. Also, it would probably be something along the lines of, alright, I'm going to do the easy things of sweeping and like wiping things down, and then I'll let Tommy do all the other unnecessary stuff that I don't want to do. I say unnecessary, obviously cleaning is necessary, but to Amber it would be unnecessary because she wouldn't be able to do it herself, so that she would just say it would be unnecessary, and then fork those responsibilities over to the woman who likes morbidly obese women. On to question 13, we have, when will you return to YouTube? I miss you. To which Em says, probably on the 28th, that's when my new YouTube schedule is going to start. Well, she failed that, lost a cat, and now it's Thanksgiving and she's eating herself into a coma. On to question 14, we have, why not post a short video to YouTube to prove everyone that you are not banned? And Em says, I posted to my community tab, you can't do that if you're banned, so that proves it right there. Hope this helps. Why does Amber have to be such a condescending bee to everyone, even her own supporters? And like, I have a fraction of the audience that Amber has, and I am genuinely grateful for every single one of those people that choose to watch my videos, even if it's for a couple minutes, even if they didn't like it, or they leave me a hate message or a comment that necessarily isn't nice. Like, I'm not going to hate them or dislike them or say anything rude to them, because they still actively are supporting the channel in one way or another. Like, it still comes to the fact that I am not owed anything, and these people are supporting me, even watching my content for a couple minutes. Like, that's just how I view it. And I don't see why Amber, or even how Amber could treat people like this that are actively supporting her. On to question 15, we have, I've had Instagram for over 10 years now, and I've blocked 20 to 30 people. Girl, how do you block 4K? To which Amber says, I went to your profile, you have 44 people following you. I'm surprised you block 40 of them, if I'm honest. Wow, Amber, that is such a condescending thing to say. Like, she's asking a simple question. It's not even really a hate question. It's simply asking a question of how do you block 4,000 people, which is true. And Amber goes, well, I have 73,000, you plebeian. Like, of course I'm going to block 3,000 people, which I hate to break to you, Amber, but if I had 70 plus K people, I wouldn't have blocked that many people because I just don't care about other people's opinions of me. Like, other people's opinions of me are their problem to deal with, not mine. And the fact that you blocked 3,000 people just show you that you do not have the spine to deal with any type of criticism. And I know for a fact that if I met you in person, I could probably have you in tears, maybe 2 minutes flat. Like, I am the type of person that will cut you down to size, and if you're going to start crying, I know the type of person you are. That's just going to motivate me just to throw more shade. On to question 16, we have, what does your dream wedding dress look like, even though you said it wouldn't work for you? To which Emma said, something like this, but I don't have the body type for it, obviously. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try, sparing your feelings, Amber. That is never gonna be you. On to question 17, we have Gurl. Did you give up losing weight? Well, considering the fact that she gave up Ozempic and semaglutide and weight loss surgery and everything else that helped her lose weight, and is now dating a feeder and gained all the weight she lost back from semaglutide, yeah, it's a pretty strong indication that she's not losing weight and she's given up. What do you mean you won't be able to get your dream dress? No matter how much weight I lose, I will never be confident enough wearing that dress. It's just a dream wedding dress, that's all. Well, I mean, you could lose a bunch of weight and you could get something that looks similar that would give you the impression or the shape or the style in which you like. It doesn't have to be exactly alike, but you can still get something that would look similar to it. Like, the fact that you choose not to lose weight is completely your own fault, whether or not you choose to lose weight. Like, that's completely up to you. You're the one dating a feeder who's going to feed you to your grave, so, like, maybe stop doing that. Question 18, we have, did you start smoking Delta because of Feline? To which Em says, no, I smoked before I met her. She did blame Beck, or at least she said she started smoking when Beck started, which, I mean, I guess true, maybe, I don't know. We'll never really find out, but Amber likes to place a lot of blame on Beck, so who knows? Question 19. Making fun of a fan's following is weird. We're not influencers and have small circles. To which Amber says, that wasn't making me fun. Yes, you were. You were making fun, Amber. You were definitely making fun of her. You were a condescending see you next Tuesday. You knew full well what you did. And the little laugh at the end, that really hit home that you were being a condescending bee. So don't even try that. They compared their block list to mine. I was stating that, of course, their block list would be less than mine because based on the obvious differences. No, you definitely knew what you were doing. You just want to play stupid. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Amber is stupid enough to believe that she wasn't being condescending. Like, Amber seems the type of person to be completely unaware of it. So I would not be surprised that Amber thinks not being a condescending bee is, well, being a condescending bee is not condescending to her. Like, I would not be surprised that Amber is just that emotionally stunted. She doesn't understand that her actions are being condescending. Not defending her by any means, of course. Moving on to question 20, we have, are you accepting cameos? My girlfriend would love one for Christmas, lol. My suggestion to you, mate, would probably get a new girlfriend. Just straight up get a new one because that one is broken. I'm not right now, but I will be opening them up soon, Christmas time. Yeah, of course, Amber would need the money at Christmas time because she's not posting. Moving on to question 21, we have, the 28th is when you can post videos again, then. You're pretty careful with your wording, to which Amber says, no, that's when my YouTube schedule is going to start. Amber likes the idea of having structure and having the aesthetic of like a routine or the aesthetic of like a schedule, but she never follows through. And I can't really say posting one video a week is considered a schedule. Like, yes, it technically is a schedule, but it's not what most people would be like schedule worthy. Like, you don't be like, oh, I need to post a video this week. Like, you have 7 days to do that. You're not going to really fail that. And Amber says she doesn't like to create schedules because then she would have to be responsible, which is like it's such a like a teenage mentality. But it really circles around to me saying the same thing, which is if I could post 3 or 4 videos a week on this channel and 3 to 5 videos a week on my other channel, which is anywhere in between 8 to 10 videos, sometimes more if I'm lucky, how is it that you cannot do 1 video a week, that you just film yourself doing your everyday things? Like, you don't do anything out of the ordinary that you don't do like for your daily life. You're not going to go skydiving, you're not going to go cruise, you're not going to go on holidays. You just go, all right, we're going to a restaurant, we're going to see my mother, we're going to play bingo. How do you not have 8 minutes of content each day? Like, it really isn't that hard. And I mean, you do the same things over and over again, so it's not like you're repetitive and boring anyway. So just film that and upload it. On to question 22, we have, is Twinkie a barker? To which Amber says, yes, she is, lol, most chihuahuas are. A lot of small dogs are barkers, which obviously bigger dogs can bark too, but in general, small dogs are. But that's usually because they're not properly trained, and a lot of people don't train smaller dogs because they don't see them or perceive them as a threat in comparison to bigger dogs. And like, if you don't train a dog not to bark, and it's not like, oh, you have to be like hardcore. Just teach them when to bark and when it's not appropriate to bark. It's really getting them to do the thing that you want them to do while actively taking away from what you don't want them to do. And with Amber, she doesn't understand that. She doesn't know how to really train herself, let alone train a dog. So, of course, Twinkie's going to be a barker. And I am not a fan of animals who bark. And thankfully, with Banjo, he's really good. Like, he's not a barker by any means. He will occasionally whine if he wants something, but that's it. And, like, even when he's toilet trained, and he was toilet trained very quickly, he doesn't even bark to go outside. What he will do is, if I'm doing something, he will sit in my vision and he will stare at me, and that is the clue that I need in order to get up. Like, if I'm sitting down watching TV, or if I'm playing a video game, or if I'm trying to work, or like do something, like just really taking my attention away from him, he will sit in my peripheral vision and he will stare me down like he's judging me or something, and I'm like, oh, you need to go outside. Moving on to question 23, we have you met Tommy's family? To which Amber says, I have. I want to take this moment to formally apologize to Tommy's family that we could not get to you before Amber did. We are sorry. We didn't do our due diligence and save you from that heartache. On to question 24, we have, for the haters, a quick Google search shows that if you post it on a community tab, you're not banned, to which Amber does the pointing up. Now, I am not someone who likes the just like accusing people of something that I don't know for sure. If I have evidence, or if I've seen evidence with my own eyes that Amber has done something wrong, then I will accuse her. Other than that, I will say it's speculation or just my opinion. But when it comes to stuff like this, which is just very minute, that doesn't have a negative effect, I don't mind it because I think it's just funny as hell. Like, seeing her get into a tissy fit because people are saying something that isn't true, and her having a negative reaction is funny because it doesn't have any particular negative effect on her. It just puts her in a bad mood, which is like, it's just a joke. So yeah, honestly, just continue doing it. It's funny as hell. On to question 25, we have, do you plan to post more eating videos again? To which Am says, I've always ate in my videos. That's probably not gonna stop now. Notice how she went from, I'm not a mukbang channel, I'm not an eating channel, I'm not a weight loss channel, I'm not going to really show me eating, I cut out my chews, I cut out my swallows, I cut out my bites, so that way you guys can't really say it's a mukbang, to now Amber going, oh well, I eat in my videos, and it's not going to really stop now, because she's dating a feeder. And Amber can say that, oh, that's not true, but Amber, every single thing you do is either go out to a restaurant, drink at like the pokies, or maybe if you're feeling really just like into it, you may look into Tommy's eyes and the camera's eyes, like the view of the camera, while you're eating ice cream and a fruit roll up. Like, you can say that you're not doing feederism content, but you're now doing that. You're doing it a lot more often than you were before. And yes, you being 500 plus pounds eating ice cream on camera while doing the sexy eyes to your girlfriend who is a feeder is feederism content, whether you like it or not. Question 26. How do you feel about people like Karina Kaboom, whose entire YouTube career is spreading lies on you? To which Em says, it's definitely an odd career choice. No, it isn't. One, because she doesn't lie on you. She has never lied on you. In fact, every single time that she doesn't have certain information, she will speculate and say that it's speculation. So she's not lying, she's giving her opinion, which is completely different from lying. A lie, especially when you're blaming someone else, which is an accusation, is saying that they did something for sure. Kind of like what Amber did when she falsely accused her ex of RAPE. We all remember that, Amber. You don't want to forget that, but you did most certainly did that, Amber, remember? You used the wrong word. So you can say that it's an odd career choice, but she's not the one going around accusing people of heinous crimes. You are. Question 27. I love you, Amber. Do you like Serena Carpenter? I just saw her live. It was amazing. To which Amber says, I do. I'm glad you had a good time. Wow, Amber, you actually feign, interest in other people's hobbies for once. Not really a hobby, interest in someone else's life for once, I guess. Yeah, that makes more sense. You actually feigned a little bit of interest. That's amazing. Like a little bit of a character growth. Moving on to a TikTok screenshot, which I'm not even going to acknowledge because this lady probably has her own situations happen where she probably was treated less than because of her weight. That is not Amber's situation. Amber, you're a terrible person. You're treated terribly because you're a terrible person, not because you're overweight. You could be underweight and people will treat you the exact same way. And the reason why I think Amber is partially because of her ED, but I also think that if Amber was to lose the weight and she was to get down to her goal weight of like 120 pounds or 130 pounds or whatever, Amber would realize that her attitude is what causes her hate. And if she was to lose all the weight and get down to that and people still criticized her, she would have to accept the fact that she's just a shitty person. So I think that's also part of the fear of her losing weight, is the fact that maybe if she got down to a certain weight limit and she was like conventionally attractive, as what she says, she would have to accept the fact that she's being treated like shit because she's a shit person. And we have the last one, which is October 22nd is my birthday. I'm so thankful you're giving me entertainment in my life. To which Am says, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing one. Which, I mean, there's not really much to say other than happy birthday. Hope you had a good day. Find someone else to idolize, please. Alright guys, it's going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I still have a couple more Q&As to go, but we are finally starting to get through the rest of them. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I get to see lovely people in another one. Bye-bye.